Hey everyone, good to be with you on this Monday. Pause short, September, pause short, 2025. This is a special in-depth episode focusing on one important immigration story that touches families, banks, and the way law enforcement uses data. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a major shift that changes how immigration enforcement can monitor money moving across borders. If you've ever wondered how financial data plays into deportation and detention, you'll want to hear this story in full. What happened is straightforward in its effect, but it's been unfolding for years. As of today, many ICE agents lost the ability to routinely track immigrants' remittance payments. The federal system tightened data sharing across agencies and private money transfer firms, making it much harder to pull large volumes of transfer data without a court order tied to a specific criminal case. In plain terms, there's less automatic access to remittance records and more need for judicial oversight before data can be used in enforcement. This marks a significant shift away from financial surveillance toward traditional enforcement actions like arrests, detention, and workplace investigations. It's a policy pivot with real consequences for families trying to send money home and stay safe. So why does this story deserve a full episode? Because it sits at the crossroads of privacy, national security, and everyday life for immigrant families. The change didn't happen in isolation. Earlier steps by the Department of Government Efficiency aimed to connect gaps between financial, tax, and benefit systems. But lawsuits and privacy protections narrowed those connections. In pause short, the IRS and Social Security Administration restricted access to certain taxpayer and benefit data. In the summer, DOJ guidelines required probable cause and a judicial review before any data request to money transmitters could go through. By September, the major money transfer firms said they wouldn't honor bulk data requests without warrants. The result is a clearer, more accountable process, but also a new reality for families who rely on remittances and for the officers who work with this data in a more careful way. Let's unpack who's affected. Immigrant families sending money home to support relatives abroad now face tighter data access and potential delays when transfers cross borders. Banks and remittance services are enforcing stricter standards, which can slow transfers or require formal warrants in cases tied to specific suspects. For people without strong legal representation, the new rules raise questions about when data can be used in enforcement and what counts as probable cause. There's also the broader context. These changes reflect ongoing debates over privacy versus public safety, how federal databases should interact, and where oversight ends and everyday life begins for people living in mixed-status households. What happens next is a mix of caution and clarity. Agencies are recalibrating workflows, and money transmitters are adapting to new governance. Legal experts say we'll likely see more court-ordered data requests in cases with solid criminal links, reducing low judicial review usage. That can be a relief for privacy advocates and a guardrail against overreach. But it also means individuals and communities, must be prepared to understand their rights and the process for data requests. The broader significance is clear. This is a realignment of enforcement powers around financial data, with direct implications for trust in government, access to remittance channels, and the everyday economics of immigrant families. For listeners, the core takeaway is that policy changes and court oversight are reshaping how data is used in immigration cases. It matters not just for inspectors or bankers, but for the families who depend on remittances to keep households afloat, for advocates who fight for due process, and for communities seeking a balance between safety and privacy. If you're navigating these waters, stay informed about how and when data can be accessed, and know your rights when fees, transfers, or warrants come into play. This story isn't just about rules on paper. It's about real people and their ability to move money, stay connected, and protect their loved ones. Thanks for listening. For more on this topic and other immigration stories, visit visaverge.com. Follow VisaVerge on social media for updates and context as the landscape evolves.